All right, episode 2 of season 5 of Samurai Jack. And I have to say, wow, this episode took it up another notch from episode 1. And to be honest with you, I think this is the best action we've seen in the entire series so far. And I don't even think that it's because of its darker and more violent nature. I think that just the choreography and such was really good throughout the entire episode. And the entire episode was full of tension. Granted, these are opponents that have challenged Jack the most since he's gone to the future, so it's understandable why it would be like the best so far, or why I think that. Now these daughters of Aku, they're freaking awesome. Their surprise attack on Jack, he's just like in his motorcycle, and then they just like attack him, like basically ambush him from out of nowhere, and he basically doesn't have a chance to react until he's able to barely escape and hide out for a while. And the chase is awesome because you can actually see in his facial expressions, you know, these character models at first sight, you would think that they wouldn't be as expressive as a more detailed animation or anything, but you're still able to see the emotion and see like how frightened he is and the tension and everything, and it just has you at the edge of your seat the whole time. So obviously he gets ambushed, and what's interesting is that it cuts to this wolf who's kind of symbolic of Jack himself, and obviously the wolf is supposed to be kind of Jack symbolically, so I thought that was pretty interesting, and the wolf like fighting off these bigger wolves. And so eventually they run into this big like fortress kind of thing, and they chase each other around, and the atmosphere in this thing is super thick, super gloomy, and you could really feel it. And that was one great thing about this episode too, and the last episode as well. Like the atmosphere of all this thing, I mean, it's a little more gritty and dark than the original series, but it still has that flair of Samurai Jack, that little tiny tidbit of quirkiness. And then you add to that the fact that they're not gonna hold back with the violence as much as they did in the original series, because all he did was fight robots and stuff so he can slice and dice all he wants without having much blood. But now on Adult Swim, they are kind of able to let loose a little bit more and actually show some more violence and show some more blood and everything, which I really appreciate. I like how filmmakers and animators and stuff, when they're kind of unleashed, I guess, because a lot of times with PG-13 movies and stuff that maybe should be R-rated, you feel like they're holding back, like they cut right before somebody hits somebody, or they show less blood or no blood at all when somebody gets shot or stabbed. So I do enjoy the extra violence. I don't know if that makes me sound crazy or anything, but I like it. And of course, the score in the tomb, when they were in all the caskets, the area with all the caskets, that was an awesome, I'm not sure if it's a remix, it's definitely not the original, but I don't know if they specifically remixed that for this scene, but it was incredible. Even though there was no dialogue happening, all it was the daughters searching for Jack, and man, that was just so much tension in that, and nothing, it was just music, and the daughters trying to find him in that. This episode definitely had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. And of course they finally find him and crush the coffin that he was hiding in, and then eventually he makes his way to an exit and goes one-on-one with them. And what I really loved was how he finally got the better of her, basically slit her throat and killed her, and then you see the reaction in his face, and like he's never killed anybody before. All he's ever killed was like monsters, creatures, and robots and stuff like that. So it's like the expression on his face, man, that was something else. And of course these daughters are so young and stuff. He just killed like a young girl. And that kind of like makes you feel for him, and also feel for these girls who were basically raised to believe that this guy is their sole purpose in life, to kill. Of course, in this episode, we get to see Aku for the first time. And of course, since the original voice actor has passed away, we have a new voice actor here. I think he did an okay job. It just felt a little bit more unnatural than the original Aku did. Like, I don't think anybody could do as good of a job as the original Aku, because that was just spot on. But the introduction with Aku in this, with him waking up to his alarm clock, and then basically giving himself a therapy session, was hilarious. It really added to that classic Samurai Jack feel. Well, guys, I hope you liked the review. Let me know what you thought of episode 2. I thought it was amazing. Way better than episode 1 even, and I think episode 1 was even better than the rest of the series. So definitely let me know what you thought in the comments. And stay tuned for episode 3. I'll upload that soon, and I'll see you later.